and support his Museveni, or rather his son, for the presidency. Several days ago, I told you today I met the Prime Minister. Several days ago I met another heavyweight of the NRM. And he said no one can ever support Muhoozi for the presidency of this country. I said, why? He said he's the most unsuitable character even among the opposition today.
Oh.
That is a strong NRM was talking about 2 days ago. Today, our former Prime Minister, Ruhakana Rugunda Ndugu, is a very gentle politician, very accommodating. So I didn't embarrass him by asking him this question. I want what he would have said. Maybe when you're in country, you can ask him. Yes, that is Uganda of today for you.
The unexpected.
I have written another book called The Unexpected Happens. This is the only country where a leader of a party, the NRM, and the president of Uganda demolishes his son for saying that his son's army, not of Museveni, his son's army will vanquish Kenya in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Only. So Museveni says, my son, I apologize for the blunder you have made, but I also promote you general.
You are now a general.
Yes.
He's feeling sorry, but he appreciates him.
Yes. So that's why I write in my book, which is a collection of essays that have been published in Sunday Monitor for the last 10 years. A collection, I hope we can give you one. That in the Pearl of Africa, which is Uganda, the unexpected
I guess happens. I have that. I have that and I've been
reading
it.
Very good. Read it again.
The unexpected
happens.
Yeah.
So it is also unexpected that the head of state and the president of Uganda demolishes his son for belittling
another country,
the Republic of Kenya, our nearest neighbor and ally in the East African community. And at the same time,
promotes
my
him.
son, well done. You are general now.
I don't know what that on a bigger picture it means, because in the recent interview, President Museveni said he will be remembered for saving Uganda from being a failed state. But what you're saying seems to be contrary to what he says.
In the last Kenya elections, there was a competition, his competition between the eventual winner, Ruto, and the eventual loser, whom many people thought he would have won, Odinga. And he gave the example during the election campaign of Uganda as an example of a failed state.
Yes, I remember.
So some people go as far as saying Uganda is a failed state. Ask Odinga, presidential candidate in the last election in Kenya. He is on record as saying Uganda is a failed state.
But to you, as a senior citizen, what do you perceive? Is Uganda really a failed state? Because President Museveni says we have democracy here, there is justice, a lot of things.
Where a state is spending more than it earns, and the more than half of that money is disappearing in private pockets, which nobody knows because the government has said, don't reveal who stole the money, but in case they run away with the money and spend it in other countries.
Just leave them to spend it here, it's better.
Is definitely a failed state. You want anything more?
A country where a sitting president says he's not aware of the abductions, these are arrests, he doesn't know about the drones.
And the people have died. MPs have been beaten up.
It's enough to...
Yes. And one of his former, fortunately late, minister, Mwine,
Yes.
he was a friend
To
of
win
mine.
it, yeah.
I talked to him. I said, why are you torturing voters and the supporters of opposition parties? Do you know this? He says, Kanyamba, Professor Kanyamba. These people are killing our people, and we are only beating them with the chibokos, and you complain. I said, Eddie, you remind me the days of Amin, when people were complaining, rather, soldiers were complaining that they are not being paid. And he said, he graces the sitting room, is the picture. He used to be a very good friend of mine until he embraced corruption. Myself, I don't think he's a killer.
Oh, okay.
Because he has saved me several times from safe houses on his own orders. One time he sent his doctor to examine me whether I was mental. They arranged. He told the doctor told him, no, Kanyambi is normal. There's nothing wrong with him. He said, tell those who are holding him to let him go home. So he's my friend. But he's wrong in every way he's governing this country. And his government has become a terrorist organization in this country. And I remember in the constitutional proposals which we passed, we said Uganda will never be a one-party state.
Yes.
We shall never accept dictatorship or authoritarianism. Those are in the constitution. Museveni has disobeyed them all, and we are now a one-party state, and we are terrorists. I don't have statistics, but my view is that the NRM government under Museveni, because his own son, Kainerugaba Muhoozi, has denounced very strongly the existence of NRM. And he has called the army of Uganda his own army.
Army, yes. Like father, like son.
And he said he's going to win after 2026. The NRM is divided. There are those and the youth who support Museveni being the candidate in 2026. Those who support Muhoozi and his kind, they think Museveni should retire in 2026 and support his Museveni, or rather his son, for the presidency. Several days ago, I told you today I met the Prime Minister. Several days ago I met another heavyweight of the NRM. And he said no one can ever support Muhoozi for the presidency of this country. I said, why? He said he's the most unsuitable character even among the opposition today.
Oh.
That is a strong NRM talking about 2 days ago. Today, our former Prime Minister, Ruhakana Rugunda Ndugu is a very gentle politician, very accommodating. So I didn't embarrass him by asking him this question. I wonder what he would have said. Maybe when you're in country, you can ask him. Yes, that is Uganda of today for you.
The unexpected
I have written another book called The Unexpected Happens. This is the only country where a leader of a party, the NRM, and the president of Uganda demolishes his son for saying that his son's army, not of Museveni, his son's army will vanquish Kenya in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Only. So Museveni says, my son, I apologize for the blunder you have made, but I also promote you general.
You are now a general.
Yes.
He's feeling sorry, but he appreciates him.
Yes. So that's why I write in my book, which is a collection of essays that have been published in Sunday Monitor for the last 10 years. A collection, I hope we can give you one. That in the Pearl of Africa, which is Uganda, the unexpected
I guess
happens.
I have that. I have that and I've been
Very
reading
good. Read it again.
The unexpected
happens.
Yeah.
So it is also unexpected that the head of state and the president of Uganda demolishes his son for belittling
another country,
the Republic of Kenya, our nearest neighbor and ally in the East African community, and at the same time
promotes
my
him.
son.
Uganda Yancha.
Hello, fellow citizens, wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you'll be catching us from. It is a pleasure to have you this time around. We're yet again having another great interview with one of the greatest senior citizens Uganda has ever had, or Uganda will ever have. His name is Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba. He is an author, of course. He is, he was a chair of the legal committee of the Constituent Assembly that promulgated the 1995 Constitution. And yes, he has served under different capacities. He's a Supreme Court judge, and we are grateful that God has kept him all this time. Part of the senior citizens list I have, whom God has, of course, tried so much to give him more life, is part of them, including the others. And it's a pleasure to have him today. It's a wonderful moment yet again, Professor. We are lucky that you're still living and serving.
Thank you very much. Last time you gave me your name, I have just forgotten it.
Moses.
Moses, yes. Thank you, Moses, for that kind introduction.
Yeah.
And as you can see, God is still keeping me strong.
Yes. We're happy for that.
Brain-wise, I'm in excellent condition.
Yes.
Head-wise, it is still on me. And although I have physical weaknesses, partly because of various illnesses like diabetes and blood pressure, but also when you are aged 83 as I am now, and a relative of Museveni told me that I'm only 2 years older than Museveni, so he's in my age bracket, but he's still strong if he has no illnesses. So age per se does not incapacitate you, but it incapacitates your capacity to fight disease and other complaints. That's all.
So we absolutely thank God for your life.
So I am okay, and thank you, and I thank the Lord, in whom I believe in, to have sustained my life
Yes.
and enabled me to continue being normal, vocal, soulful, researchful, and anything that any normal person can be. It was my birthday, the 11th of August this year,
Okay.
and the organizers of my birthday put there my real age, that at 83, then in bracket, 38. They say, although I am aged 83, I think like a 30-year-old.
Oh, okay.
That's what point.
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming. And before long, I wish to congratulate all your readers
Yes.
and viewers who have seen this today. And hopefully we will see Christmas out.
Yes.
Yes, for another year.
Yes,
May
sir.
God bless them all.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Prof, there was a recent interview we did with you. I think let me start with that. Some of your ardent followers, they asked this question, and I said, no, I need to, for clarity, bring it on, like so that we can, clarify.
We can deal with it. Yes.
Yeah, so of recent, there are some comments coming or arising from the interview we did. People liked your books, and some of them who have read about them, they had a query that some books are not on Amazon, eBay, they're not online, but they're those we see, of which we don't know whether you have permission or rights over.
I am very pleased that you have asked that question.
Yes.
Overall, I have written 35 books,
Yeah.
Which is unique in the world.
Yes.
Nobody who has done what I have done, become a Minister of Commerce, Minister of Justice, Attorney General in 2 governments,
Yes.
become Presidential Advisor on Human Rights, the first and the last ever, and written so many books at the same time.
Yeah.
And I hope that your colleagues or whoever is listening will undertake
Yeah.
a task of asking me more and writing a book about this unique character who hails from the equator in Africa, how he has managed
Yes.
to do all this single-handed. The only contribution I ever had in one of my publications was constitutional obligation in the Commonwealth. And we co-authored that with John Katende, who is a lawyer. That is in the 60s. Since then, everything I have endeavored to write and to publish is my single-handed work. I recently published the latest entitled The Evolution of Constitutional Law,
Yes.
Public Law and the Government. It was published by a young man, a lawyer, who saw what happened when that book was being published, but had been born when I wrote the first edition.
Okay.
And the younger man is claiming falsely that she authored that book with him.
Oh.
If you look at the biography, I acknowledge that people like Professor Kasozi read through and helped me to revise it. People like Justice Ngonda Ntende, who knows the first edition and read it before this boy was born, knows that he never contributed anything at all to the book. But because he wants to share on my reputation, he's saying he wrote it to it.
He falsely claims
Yes,
that. Yeah.
that he authored it. And to show you that the legal profession has really gone down
Yeah.
in integrity
Yeah.
and legal knowledge, a lawyer is helping him to sue me for what will be inevitably a disaster for that young man.
Yeah. Because I've seen several books on Amazon,
Yes.
of which some of them cost $32, $71, $49. The range goes on. It keeps on changing. And
I
I
am
was
glad that
does
you
Professor-
mentioned Amazon.
Yes.
I thought they were a reputable company in America. I am told it is one of the biggest.
Yes, of course.
Then, from what I have heard from them and interviewed with him, either somebody is deceiving them that I put those books on their list, or they themselves are not very honest.
Oh,
I'll tell you
yes.
why.
Yes.
They have put there 8
Yes.
publications of mine, which include the evolution, which include Kanyihamba's commentaries on law, politics, and the governance,
Yes.
my autobiography,
The blessings and joy
The
of,
Blessing and Joy of Who You Are,
of who you are. Yeah.
Kanyihamba's commentaries on law, politics, and the government,
Reflections on the Muslim.
yes, Reflection on the Muslim, which I'm going to give you the latest copy,
Yeah.
having renounced that copy which is on Amazon,
Okay.
and I advise everybody in the world who intends to buy it, don't,
Yes.
and who has got it to return it to Amazon or any other publisher,
There is the one.
and I replace it with the latest one, which is the correct copy.
There's one,
the-
Kanyeyamba, the women I have loved. There's that,
That
one
one
as
is
well.
okay.
Okay.
They include Mrs. Museveni, Janet, their daughter, Patience Luabogo, my wife, my 2 daughters, Ambassador Black,
Okay.
who is of Dutch origin, but is our ambassador in the European Union, having become a Ugandan, very commendable. And they include Bete Bigombe, the former honorable minister of the Northern Region, who is also a very well-known international performer. They include the former Speaker of Parliament,
Okay.
Honorable Rebecca Kadaga,
Adaga.
who is actually also a director of Kanyihamba Foundation. And that book, I think, is loved by many women. And instead of being jealous, they regret that they did not know me at the time.
Okay.
Otherwise, they would have been subject of that book.
Oh my God. So Amazon is doing a disservice to you. Have you ever written to them?
Absolutely. Several times. I have even engaged a detective,
Okay.
and the answer from Amazon has been negative all the time. Either they are covering it for somebody whom they respect, or they are lying themselves. And I am asking you, through you, all our listeners,
Yeah.
to investigate and write to Amazon. Their address is, I think, on International Book. Why are you stealing Kanyamba's books?
Yes.
Why are you helping a thief to steal them? Kanyamba is a well-known
Yes.
statesman of Uganda, Africa, and the world. I was previously a judge of the Supreme Court of the African Court on Human Rights. I was nominated to be a judge of the International Court of The Hague. I have 2 lifetime achievements. I have been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. And therefore, for Amazon to continue keeping quiet, I have sent them my phone, my box number. They still keep quiet.
Oh.
So somebody is a thief somewhere. I hope it is not Amazon. And Amazon is covering for them. I just have come from the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister of Uganda, Right Honorable Hakana Rugunda. And the advice I got from him and others at that meeting was, you write to the American embassy in Uganda, they must know the answer.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
That's very
I
good.
have also appealed to your listeners and the viewers. Any influence they have, tackle Amazon because it is stealing my property, which we call intellectual property. Thank
The
you.
good thing is that this video or this channel goes viral. It cuts across all the nation, all globally. I will attach this video. It is
I am
this-
very glad to hear that.
we are getting this from the horse's mouth. In case there are some, of course, misinterpretations, they will get the video and understand like where the problem is. Prof, let's go straight to how you perceived your reflections on 2022. Let's start with the justice sector. Have we performed? Have they passed the litmus test? Has justice
I
been
have
served?
2 cases pending judgment.
Yes.
One is when the government, President Museveni, the Attorney General, and the NRM party threatened the right to bail.
Yes.
When I filed my petition with 5 other citizens, Museveni very wisely withdrew from the threat. He said, I will no longer challenge the right to bail. I leave the matter to the courts of Uganda
Yes.
and to their discretion. But because that threat has been joined in by the Attorney General of Uganda, I have 2 or 3 friends in UK
Yeah.
who have bought those books listed on Amazon. At least I have bought about 16 books. I have not received any $1 for them. And Amazon, the most famous seller of goods, has shamefully kept quiet. I have employed a Ugandan detective. He has written to them.
Yeah.
They are still hiding the information of who put them there, how much they themselves have received, and how much they have given to the man claiming to their author. It is shameful that such an international, well-renowned bookseller called Amazon should behave in a shameful manner.
Let's go back to the issue of the jealousy of the justice sector, how you've perceived it. You are still saying you have you have 2 pending cases, pending judgment or waiting for judgment.
Yes.
Number 1 was where you, of course, that includes the Attorney General about the bail plus President Museveni, who withdrew and
He
said,
withdrew his threat and they said publicly that I leave all the matter to the courts of law
yeah,
and their discretion. We were happy with that. But the Attorney General, who is much well known for his knowledge in oil matters and the laws of Uganda,
yeah,
did not withdraw. So, nor did the Secretary General of their legal department of NRM withdraw. So our case proceeded against them,
yes,
but not against President Museveni. Halfway there, the Court of Appeal, the Constitutional Court, discovered that the respondents were not answering in accordance with their orders, the orders of the court, or our petition. So they ordered them, the Attorney General and the NRM, to file their replies to our submissions
yes,
within a specified period. Halfway there, corrupt officials in the registry of that court manipulated so that when they heard I was going to be away, they set the case to be heard in my absence. Then a kind official from there tipped me, said, don't go to hospital. They are going to manipulate the evidence in your absence
To give the, yeah.
in order to win the case.
Mm.
So I came on the day of hearing.
And they thought you won't be there.
No,
Yeah.
I think the registrar must have waited on her ground
Mm.
when she saw me.
Mm.
Then, can you believe it? She had someone who was presiding, a magistrate,
Okay.
on what we call scheduling meeting.
Mm.
So when I turned up, the man was so shocked to see me, and he said, Kanyaba. I said, yes. What are you doing in my court? I said, Your Worship, don't you know that there's a scheduling today at this time? And there was someone.
Mm.
Then he said, I had forgotten. Then, wait for it. Those representing the other parties, when they arrived, lawyers, he said, welcome, welcome. The question, what are you doing in my court, never arose. I was so shocked by this partial treatment of parties. And I remembered a lawyer by the name of Peter Mulira
Mm.
had caught judges advising another judge who was charged with a very serious offense, but he was being advised by judges how to defeat how to defeat the litigant.
Mm. Oh my God.
Then I said, this matter of hearing parties without the others knowing is criminal, let alone fraudulent. I wrote it to the Deputy Chief Justice. I think the Deputy Chief Justice was shocked by this behavior. And in any case, the respondents had not filed in time as required. So for him, he said, I think we have had enough of this case. We shall give you judgment on the notice.
Yeah.
And we are waiting for that.
Up to now.
And I think everybody in the world must predict that we shall win it.
Okay.
Because if we
Due to the
don't
circumstances,
need
yeah. Mm.
that young lady, or she's a middle lady, adjourning our case signed time, and then the Deputy Chief Justice resuming it, is known worldwide. Because when they refused to hear us, we decided to publicize our submissions internationally. So we sent copies of our submissions to the BBC, to the Voice of America, to Kenyan newspapers, so they know what our submissions were. Should the court dare to dismiss our petition, the whole world will know that there is no justice in Uganda.
In Uganda.
So the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal are facing a very, very serious, challenging decision to make.
To the rest of Ugandans, has justice been served as it is the
We
mandate?
sent our submissions to the Chief Justice, rather to the Chief Justice. We sent a copy to the Archbishop of Kampala,
Okay.
who presides over the Catholics of Uganda. We sent a copy to the Chief Justice, rather to the His Grace, the Archbishop of Uganda.
Yes.
So they all know. They are waiting, all of them, to see what the judgment Kanyamba and his fellow petitioners will get. And we are challenging all the journalists
Yes.
who no longer quote me.
Mm.
To quote me is not written anywhere that it is wrong.
Yeah, that is illegal, yeah?
To publish any of my articles is not a wrong.
Mm.
But the journalists, especially those of the newspapers, New Vision and the Monitor, have been directed. We don't want to see the name Kanyamba anywhere. So the articles are sent to them. Very respectable editors and journalists are never known by anybody else, except the editors and reporters who received them. I was a co-founder
Of the New Vision, yeah?
of the New Vision, because we founded it when we liberated Uganda from the Amin regime. And I was a lawyer and attorney general later. And I worked with William Pike,
Yes.
the former editor general of New Vision. You can even check, I own 1,700 shares.
Shares, yeah?
I am no longer called to meetings, giving the notices on the orders of the powers that be. I am as ignorant of what happens there. I don't attend the meetings of the annual general meeting or shares meetings because the order is we don't want the name Kanyamba ever published in Monitor or New Vision. Some reporters defy them. They come and interview me. They said we shall publish it. When they get there, money becomes more sweet than loyalty and integrity. Those are not published. When I call them, their numbers are always switched off. That is how I live these days. I am a feared man. Half of Uganda love me.
Yes.
Half, less than half, corrupt ones and abusers of office hate me. So I am both loved and hated at the same time. And I am proud of it. People who say nothing, people who never say anything controversial, contribute nothing to this developing world.
Prof, part of the justice sector, of course, we have a challenge of case backlog. I don't know how that can be better solved. Many cases, more so land cases and many other cases are still...
I don't have statistics, but my view is that the NRM government under Museveni, because his own son, Kainerugaba Muhoozi, has denounced very strongly the existence of NRM. And he has called the army of Uganda his own army.
Army, yes. Like father, like son.
And he said he's going to win after 2026. The NRM is divided. There are those and the youth who support Museveni being the candidate in 2026. Those who support Muhoozi and his kind, they think Museveni should retire in 2026 and support his Museveni, or rather his son, for the presidency. Several days ago, I told you today I met the Prime Minister. Several days ago I met another heavyweight of the NRM. And he said no one can ever support Muhoozi for the presidency of this country. I said, why? He said he's the most unsuitable character even among the opposition today.
Oh.
That is a strong NRM talking about 2 days ago. Today, our former Prime Minister, Rugunda Ndugu, is a very gentle politician, very accommodating. So I didn't embarrass him by asking him this question. I wonder what he would have said. Maybe when you're in the country, you can ask him. Yes, that is Uganda of today for you.
The unexpected
I have written another book called The Unexpected Happens. This is the only country where a leader of a party, the NRM, and the president of Uganda demolishes his son for saying that his son's army, not of Museveni, his son's army will vanquish Kenya in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Only. So Museveni says, my son, I apologize for the blunder you have made, but I also promote you general.
You are now a general.
Yes.
He's feeling sorry, but he appreciates him.
Yes. So that's why I write in my book, which is a collection of essays that have been published in Sunday Monitor for the last 10 years. A collection, I hope we can give you one.
Yeah.
That in the Pearl of Africa,
which
is Uganda, the unexpected
I guess
happens.
I have that. I have that and I've been
Very
reading
good. Read it again.
The unexpected,
happens.
Yeah.
So it is also unexpected that the head of state and the president of Uganda demolishes his son for belittling
another country,
the Republic of Kenya, our nearest neighbor and ally in the East African community, and at the same time
promotes
my
him.
son, well done, you are general now.
I don't know what that on a bigger picture it means, because in the recent interview, President Museveni said he will be remembered for saving Uganda from being a failed state. But what you're saying seems to be contrary to what he says.
In the last Kenya elections, there was a competition, very heavy competition between the eventual winner, Ruto, and the eventual loser, who many people thought he would have won, Odinga. And he gave the example during the election campaign of Uganda as an example of a failed state.
Yes, I remember.
So some people go as far as saying Uganda is a failed state. Ask Odinga, presidential candidate in the last election in Kenya. He is on record as saying Uganda is a failed state.
But to you, as a senior citizen, what do you perceive? Is Uganda really a failed state? Because President Museveni says we have democracy here, there is justice, a lot of things.
Where a state is spending more than it earns, and the more than half of that money is disappearing in private pockets, which nobody knows because the government has said, don't reveal who stole the money, but in case they run away with the money and spend it in another country.
Just leave them to spend it here, it's better.
Is definitely a failed state. You want anything more?
A country where a sitting president says he's not aware of the abductions, these are arrests, he doesn't know about the drones.
And the people have died, MPs have been beaten up.
It's enough to...
Yes. And one of his former, fortunately late, minister, Mwine.
Yes.
He was a friend of mine.
Mwine, yeah.
I talked to him. I said, why are you torturing voters and the supporters of opposition parties? Do you know this is Kanyamba? Professor Kanyamba. these people are killing our people, and we are only beating them with the chibokos, and you complain. I said, I said, Eddie, you remind me the days of Amin, when people were complaining, rather, what were, soldiers were complaining that they are not being paid. And he said, I am a doctor. Amin, how can you complain that you are not paid and you are not have money when I have supplied you with guns?
He has supplied you with guns and
You
you're
have
complaining
guns.
about the salaries.
Yeah, that's what's happening today.
Oh my, yeah.
Because if you give a job to Kanyihamba, and the IG discovers that Kanyihamba has corrupted this country, stolen 1 billion, and then you are the president said, please don't name that it was Kanyihamba, because if you name him, he will be persuaded to go abroad and spend it there. I want these people to spend what they have stolen in Uganda.
So that it remains here.
Yeah, it remains here. Is that a policy? Is it the right decision?
That confirms we are a failed state.
So I'm finishing a book.
Yeah.
Museveni, when you go to my house, he graces the sitting room. Is the picture. He used to be a very good friend of mine until he embraced corruption. Myself, I don't think he's a killer
Oh, okay.
because he has saved me
Okay.
several times
Okay.
from safe houses on his own orders. One time he sent his doctor to examine me whether I was mental. They arranged. He told the doctor told him, no, Kanyihamba is normal. There's nothing wrong with him. He said, tell those who are holding him to let him go home. So he's my friend. But he's wrong in every way he's governing this country. And his government has become a terrorist organization in this country. And I remember in the constitutional proposals which we passed, we said Uganda will never be a one-party state.
Yes.
We shall never accept dictatorship or authoritarianism. Those are in the constitution. Museveni has disobeyed them all, and we are now a one-party state, and we are terrorists. That is true. I am not exaggerating. Ask every Uganda. They will say Kanyihamba is right.
As we wind up, Prof, the journey to achieving a justice-free Uganda whereby justice is served completely and Ugandans are happy about the justice sector, do you see hope towards that, towards achieving?
A country like Uganda, which is endowed with resources, wealth, and intellect, I am a small part of that intelligentsia,
Okay.
cannot be condemned to abject poverty and misgovernance forever. Sooner or later, maybe not in my lifetime, the people of Uganda will rise up
Okay.
and regain their freedom and independence and be governed democratically. I swear, one day
Okay.
that will happen. Let me tell you what encourages me. In my lifetime, I never knew in my lifetime South Africa would be free of apartheid. Moreover, in that country, matters were complicated, that the leaders, the white people, most of them believed that apartheid was a religion. So they supported it, with arms and wealth because they believed any other way they would perish. Then comes Libya. Gaddafi. Gaddafi, I was there with President Museveni when he said revolutionaries don't retire voluntarily.
Yes.
They die in office.
Yes.
Remember when he ended up in a manhole covered with filth, and when the Americans captured him, or whoever captured him, his own people hacked him to death. He was not even as lucky as Hussein of Iraq, who were fighting America. This is the war, the mother of all laws. When the Americans appeared, he went to hide in a Moor's hole. It was a week. When they discovered he looks like a madman, unshaven, very dirty, smelly. The American washed him, shaved him, and handed him to his own people. And what did the people of him do? They hacked him to death. What about Egypt? The army commander was his own nephew, who was guarding his resident guards. Who assassinated him? His nephew.
His nephew, yeah.
People don't learn from history.
Okay. Yes, yeah.
Here we have a stage in Uganda where the father has had to apologize for the indiscretion of his son. The son has said, Dad, I no longer believe in your party, the NRM. It is a liability to this country. And I am going to replace you as the president. When people challenged him, like Cesar on the same grounds, he jailed them. When Tumukunde challenged him, he jailed them.
Yes.
But when he resigned, Dad said, you are a general now. Is that a country which can survive this kind of madness and controversies? No. Time is coming when President Museveni will be forced to retire and hand over to a democratically elected president of Uganda. That may even be in my time.
Okay.
I am 83.
Finally, the last question in your parting shot, Prof. As we edge closer to enter 2023, what if God gives you more years? What would you request him to see? Or in your prayer, what would you pray for the next years?
I
What you
would
request for
ask
him?
my Lord, whom I believe in, God and his Son Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, that please ask President Museveni, guide him to retire now, today, not at the end of this term, not 2 years later, but today. Because he himself, Museveni has listened to me. I wrote a book called, and I think if there's a copy, I'll give you one, The Defeat
Yes.
of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in the war against corruption. He admits he has been defeated. Kamia, the IGG, admits they have been defeated. His own son, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, he said the NRM which his father did is now a great liability to this country. One of the hopeful presidents and a friend of mine, Nobati Mao, recently became a chairman in the NRM. He's a chairman now. And I hope you can publicize in the Sabora that this man, when I went to address Parliament, he accompanied me with the DP party and applauded my speech, which is reproduced in another book, not published by me, but by friends, and it is called Kanyamba the Incredible. And Mao was present at the launch of my other publication, Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law and the Government. And he spoke very, very kindly about it and about me. Greatest lawyer that ever lived. Not just in Uganda, but in the whole world. You read those statements and interview them. Why did you say that? When I was teaching in the UK, there was another professor called Professor Watson.
Yeah.
Or what? We were the only ones who never went in the classroom with notes to read to students. All came from the head. Today you have not seen me with a paper here, or a book, or refer to this. It's all here. But I'm 7, when I retired as a judge, the then Minister of Justice Attorney General said, Kanyamba, we wanted to appoint you acting judge until you are no longer strong. They didn't appoint me. Although I believe the minister told the president said, not Kanyamba. I have been on Katebi 10 years. These 10 years I could have been serving Uganda usefully, especially on the advice law. When you are going out, you find a road called Professor Dr. Kanyihamba.
Yeah.
It was done by the Baganda in the division of Machinde for the services to the kingdom and to Uganda and to the world as a whole. I greet you, friends. Ask God to give me more time to enlighten our people and the world that not Museveni, not the NRM, not his ministers will destroy the power of Africa forever. Once again, and sooner than later, we shall rise again.
We call it a wrap. We can't, of course, exceed or even add anything on that. We thank you, Prof, and we appreciate that still God has kept you alive. That's a very, very good prayer we must pray together, because many have perished this year. So it's a pleasure always having you and sharing this, not only knowledge, but wisdom with the rest of the world. Folks, we call it a wrap. We will meet again, God willing, in 2023, yet with Prof, in case God allows us in 2023 to discuss yet another patent matters to do with justice, accountability, and governance.
Thank you.
Yeah. Stay blessed. Uganda Yencha.
Uganda Yancha.